Number 15. Africa's tiny kingdom that surprises. Tucked between South Africa and Mozambique lies Eswatini, a country so small it is easy to miss on a map, yet packed with contrasts. Covering only about 6,700 square miles, this landlocked kingdom has a population of roughly 1.26 million, according to the latest World Bank data for 2025. In just a few hours of driving, the scenery can shift from cool mountain highlands to open savannas, rocky valleys, and wildlife reserves. Formerly known as Swaziland, the country officially adopted the name Eswatini in 2018. Today, King Mswati III remains the monarch, and royal traditions continue to play a highly visible role in national life. Yet Eswatini is not frozen in the past. Modern cities, growing industries, cultural festivals, ancient landscapes, and protected wildlife all exist within this compact nation. The World Bank estimates its economy grew about 4% in 2025, showing that change is happening alongside tradition. So how can one of Africa's smallest countries hold so many different worlds? To understand that, we have to begin with the land itself. Number 14. 4 landscapes in one kingdom. For such a tiny country, Eswatini packs in an astonishing range of landscapes. Traveling from west to east, the nation unfolds across 4 major geographic zones: the Highveld, Middelveld, Lowveld, and Lubombo Plateau. The Highveld rises roughly 3,000 to 6,000 feet above sea level, creating cooler, greener mountain country along the western border. Farther east, the Middelveld gradually gives way to the much warmer Lowveld, where elevations can fall below 800 feet, and summer temperatures can climb dramatically. The contrast is even more striking in rainfall. Government data shows that mountainous areas can receive more than 59 inches of rain annually, while some low-lying eastern areas receive less than 24 inches. Roughly 80% of the country's rainfall arrives between October and March. At the eastern edge, the Lubombo Plateau rises again toward Mozambique, completing a remarkable natural staircase across a country only about 110 miles from north to south. These dramatic changes in altitude shaped more than Eswatini's climate. They also influenced where people settled, farmed, and built communities for generations. Number 13. The culture that holds Eswatini together. To understand Eswatini, you have to look beyond its mountains and wildlife and meet the Mswati themselves. The country is remarkably culturally cohesive, with the government describing Mswati as the indigenous and predominantly homogeneous population. 2 languages officially share national status: Siswati and English. Siswati dominates everyday cultural life, while English is widely used in government, education, and formal communication. But language is only part of the story. Family networks, respect for elders, community responsibility, ceremonies, and shared tradition continue to shape daily life. These values reflect the broader Southern African philosophy, often described as Ubuntu, the idea that a person's identity is deeply connected to the people around them. That sense of belonging remains visible even as smartphones, modern schools, businesses, and global culture reshape the country. In Eswatini, modern life has not simply erased tradition. The two often exist side by side. And nowhere is that contrast clearer than in the country's cities and traditional rural communities. Number 12. 2 worlds in one kingdom. Eswatini may be small, but daily life can look dramatically different, depending on where you stand. In Mbabane, the administrative capital, recent municipal estimates place the population between 80,000 195,000. Manzini serves as a major commercial center, while the rapidly developing Eswatini Valley has become a hub for tourism, business, and national events. Drive beyond these urban centers, however, and another side of Eswatini emerges. Government documents indicate that roughly 75% of the population lives in rural areas on Swazi nation land. Here, traditional homestead, farming, livestock, and close community networks remain important parts of everyday life. Swazi nation land operates differently from privately titled property. It is communal land held in trust for the nation, with local chiefs traditionally involved in allocating land use rights to families. This system connects modern Eswatini to customs that have survived generations. Yet few traditions reveal the kingdom's cultural identity as vividly as the massive ceremony we explore next. Number 11. Eswatini's spectacular royal tradition. Once a year, Eswatini becomes the stage for one of Southern Africa's largest cultural gatherings, Umhlanga, the Reed Dance. Held at the Ludzidzini royal residence, the ceremony brings together tens of thousands of young women from communities across the kingdom for days of preparation, singing, dancing, and traditional activities. In 2025, Umhlanga ran from September 2nd to 8th, with the main celebration taking place on September 8th. Participants collected reeds and presented them to the Queen Mother, or Ndlovukazi, continuing a tradition with roots reaching back to the pre-colonial era. The King, Queen Mother, royal family, and large crowds attended the main ceremony. Umhlanga is also becoming increasingly important to tourism. During the 2025 festival period, Eswatini recorded more than 34,500 international visitors, up 5.8% from the comparable period in 2024. For visitors, however, this is more than a spectacle, it is a living cultural tradition. So respecting local rules, designated viewing areas, and photography restrictions is essential. And Eswatini's traditions extend far beyond its royal ceremonies. Number 10. How Eswatini saved its rhinos. Standing just yards from a rhinoceros can make Eswatini feel like a true wildlife giant. But these animals represent something much bigger, one of the kingdom's most important conservation stories. Decades ago, wildlife populations across Eswatini had declined severely, pushing conservationists to rebuild protected areas and restore species that had disappeared locally. Today, Big Game Parks says its conservation programs have helped reintroduce more than 22 mammal species to the kingdom. Rhinos remain among the most closely protected because illegal wildlife trafficking continues to threaten populations across Africa. Eswatini's response combines protected reserves, wildlife management, relocation programs, and dedicated anti-poaching operations. The effort is still expanding. In 2026, a new 5-year biodiversity project was launched in the Lubombo landscape, covering roughly 87,000 hectares and backed by a $523 million Global Environment Facility grant. In a country this small, protecting wildlife requires constant work. And another powerful force shaping Eswatini is waiting beyond the reserves. Its monarchy. Number 9. Inside Africa's powerful royal monarchy. Eswatini's monarchy is not merely ceremonial. At the center is King Mswati III, who became king in 1986 at just 18 years old. In April 2026, the country marked his 40th year on the throne. Under Eswatini's constitution, the king is the hereditary head of state and holds both ceremonial and executive responsibilities, while parliament, the judiciary, and traditional institutions also form part of the country's governance system. The monarchy itself has a distinctive dual structure. The king, known traditionally as the Ngwenyama, or lion, serves alongside the Ndlovukazi, or Queen Mother, whose title is often translated as she-elephant. Together, these roles are deeply rooted in Swazi custom. Modern Eswatini was also profoundly shaped by King Sobhuza II. He took the throne in 1921, guided the country through independence from Britain in 1968, and ruled until his death in 1982. Today, royal tradition and modern government continue to operate side by side, making Eswatini's political system one of the most distinctive in Africa. Number 8. What Eswatini really eats. Forget elaborate restaurant plates. Traditional food in Eswatini begins with something far more important: maize. The country's Ministry of Agriculture identifies maize as its staple cereal, and it appears in everything from soft porridge to thick, crumbly dishes served with vegetables, beans, or meat. Or, one familiar combination is maize meal with imasi, a cultured sour milk that adds a rich, tangy flavor. Local food records also include sefushe, made from mashed hugo beans and maize, along with sijaban, which combines cooked amaranth leaves with maize meal. For something quick and filling, emafethi are pieces of wheat dough deep-fried until golden, similar to the fat cakes found elsewhere in southern Africa. These foods reveal how closely Eswatini's cuisine is tied to farming. Maize, beans, ground nuts, sorghum, and sweet potatoes remain important crops, with recipes often built around simple ingredients that can feed an entire household. But one local ingredient goes far beyond the dinner table. When marula season arrives, food, culture, and celebration come together in an extraordinary way. Number 7. Eswatini's Wild Safari Kingdom. For a country this small, Eswatini offers a surprisingly big safari experience. Hlane Royal National Park is the kingdom's largest single conservation area, covering roughly 22,000 hectares, or about 85 square miles. Its name means wilderness in Siswati, and the park was officially proclaimed a national park in 1967 under King Sobhuza II. Today, Hlane protects some of Africa's most iconic wildlife. Lions, elephants, white rhinos, giraffes, hippos, zebras, wildebeest, and numerous antelope species roam its low-veld habitats. 4 of Africa's famous Big Five occur here, while more than 300 bird species have also been recorded. One of Hlane's most memorable locations is Ndlovu Camp, where elephants and rhinos can appear around the nearby waterhole. Lions are managed in a separate, limited-access section and can be viewed on guided game drives, while selected areas allow self-driving. But Eswatini's wild landscapes hide something even older than its wildlife: evidence of human activity stretching back tens of thousands of years. Number 6. A mine older than civilization. Long before cities, writing, or agriculture transformed human life, people were already digging into the mountains of Eswatini. At Ngwenya, the remarkable Lion Cavern preserves evidence of intensive ochre mining dating back roughly 48,000 years, according to newer archaeological research. Middle Stone Age communities came here for hematite-rich red ochre, a mineral pigment that could be processed into a vivid red powder. Archaeologists have also uncovered specialized stone mining tools, including picks, hammers, and choppers. Ochre had many uses in prehistoric societies, from symbolic expression and body decoration to practical applications. Ngwenya's story did not end there. Centuries later, iron ore was extracted for smelting, and in the 20th century, large-scale commercial mining transformed the surrounding landscape and helped drive infrastructure development. Today, Ngwenya remains on UNESCO's World Heritage Tentative List, preserving an extraordinary record of human ingenuity stretching across tens of thousands of years. And Eswatini's ancient geology has another giant surprise waiting nearby. Number 5. Eswatini's 3-billion-year giant. Just outside Mbabane rises one of Eswatini's most astonishing natural landmarks, Sibebe Rock. This enormous granite formation is estimated to be around 3 billion years old and is promoted by Eswatini tourism as the world's largest exposed granite dome. Its rocky landscape rises to roughly 4,080 feet above sea level, with trails crossing bare granite, caves, streams, grasslands, and pockets of remarkably diverse plant life. But Sibebe is only part of the adventure. Farther northwest, Malolotja Nature Reserve protects a dramatic high-veld landscape of mountains, deep valleys, waterfalls, and open grasslands. The reserve is a major destination for hiking and outdoor exploration, offering some of the wildest scenery in the kingdom. Together, Sibebe and Malolotja reveal a side of Eswatini that feels almost untouched. Ancient rock beneath your feet, vast valleys ahead, and remarkably little urban development in sight. And hidden among these high-altitude grasslands is something far more fragile, a rare bird fighting to survive. Number 4. The rare bird facing extinction. For a country smaller than New Jersey, Eswatini has an extraordinary bird world. Around 500 species have been recorded here, thanks to habitats ranging from hot low-veld savannas to cool mountain grasslands. The country is also home to 52 southern African endemic species, making it an unexpectedly rewarding destination for birdwatchers. But one bird stands out: the blue swallow. With its metallic dark blue plumage and long tail streamers, this small migratory bird is now classified as endangered. Eswatini is one of the few remaining places where it still breeds, particularly in high-altitude grasslands, such as those protected around Malolotja Nature Reserve. Its survival depends heavily on healthy, undisturbed grassland. When these habitats are degraded or converted, suitable nesting and feeding areas disappear with them. Protecting the blue swallow, therefore, means protecting an entire ecosystem shared by many other species. And when Eswatini's seasons change, another natural treasure begins appearing across the landscape: marula fruit. Number 3. The fruit that starts a festival. When marula season arrives in Eswatini, an ordinary-looking fruit becomes the center of one of the kingdom's most distinctive cultural celebrations. Known locally as umganu, the marula tree produces small yellow fruits during the southern African summer, typically from roughly January through March. For generations, communities have gathered the fallen fruit and processed it for food and traditional products. The season is also connected to the annual Buganu Festival, a royal cultural gathering traditionally associated with the Queen Mother, or Ndlovukazi. Women from communities across Eswatini take part in the celebrations, wearing traditional clothing and joining in songs, dances, and ceremonial activities. Marula itself is remarkably useful. Its fruit is rich in vitamin C, while the kernels can produce an oil used in food and cosmetic products. The tree therefore carries economic value as well as cultural meaning. In Eswatini, a seasonal fruit can connect families, tradition, and local livelihoods. And that same creativity appears in another unexpected place: the kingdom's thriving world of handmade crafts. Number 2. Where tradition meets global music. Eswatini's creativity is not locked in the past. Across the kingdom, traditional skills have evolved into businesses that connect local communities with customers around the world. At Ngwenya Glass, artisans transform discarded glass into handmade animals, tableware, and decorative pieces, combining recycling with skilled craftsmanship. Elsewhere, Gone Rural works with hundreds of women artisans who turn locally harvested lutinzi grass into woven baskets, home decor, and contemporary designs. For many rural families, this craft economy provides an important source of income while preserving techniques passed between generations. Then there is MTN Bushfire, the festival that completely changes the atmosphere of the Eswatini Valley. Since launching in 2007, it has grown into an internationally recognized celebration of music and the arts. Recent editions have welcomed around 20,000 people from dozens of countries, bringing African and international performers together over 3 days. From recycled glass to global music, Eswatini shows how tradition can evolve without disappearing. But if this kingdom is now on your travel list, there are a few essential things to know before you go. Number 1. Before you visit Eswatini. So, what should you know before traveling to Eswatini? The dry season, roughly May through September, generally offers cooler conditions and excellent wildlife viewing, while the warmer summer months bring greener landscapes and seasonal rainfall. The local currency is the Hlane, which is pegged 1-to-1 with the South African rand. South African banknotes are widely accepted, making cross-border travel especially convenient. Driving is one of the easiest ways to explore the country, but remember, traffic moves on the left. Entry rules depend on nationality. Travelers who require a visa can now use Eswatini's official e-visa system, and the government says applications should be completed before arrival. Visitors should always verify current passport and visa requirements before departure. Most importantly, Eswatini rewards respectful travelers. Ask before photographing people, follow local guidance at ceremonies, and treat cultural traditions as living customs rather than tourist performances. From ancient mines and 3-billion-year-old rock to rhinos, royal ceremonies, and mountain villages, Eswatini proves that a country does not have to be large to leave a lasting impression. And that brings our journey through Eswatini to an end. A tiny kingdom filled with ancient landscapes, remarkable wildlife, and traditions unlike anywhere else. If you enjoyed discovering this hidden corner of Africa, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more journeys around the world. Share this video with someone who loves exploring, and we'll see you in the next adventure.